The night was damp with the aftertaste of rain, the pavement glistening beneath the soft glow of street lamps outside Yeppy's Italian restaurant. Isaac Smith shifted the warm takeout bags in his arms, the scent of chicken piccata drifting up to tease his already empty stomach. He fumbled for his car keys, eager to get home and share dinner with his daughter. But then he saw her. She sat on a bench near the edge of the lot, still as a shadow, yet her eyes followed his movements with intensity. Hunger lived there, deeper than a craving, sharper than appetite. It was survival hunger, the kind that gnawed at dignity. "Excuse me, sir." The voice was fragile, barely louder than the hum of passing cars. She had risen from a bench, taking a small, hesitant step toward him. Her clothes were tidy but worn, her posture straight but uncertain, as if she had practiced appearing strong. "I'm sorry to bother you," she continued, her hands trembling even as her voice stayed steady. "If you have any leftovers you don't want, I'd be grateful." Isaac stopped mid-step. The parking lot suddenly felt too small, the air too heavy. "These aren't leftovers," he said softly, holding up the bag. "This is dinner I just picked up." Her face flushed red instantly, shame rushing across her features. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought, never mind. Have a good evening." She turned so quickly her ponytail snapped behind her. It was a motion born of habit, a clean retreat rehearsed many times before rejection could cut too deeply. "Wait!" The word shot out of Isaac before he even thought about it. And in that moment, 20 years collapsed. He wasn't 38 with a good job, a mortgage, and a 12-year-old daughter waiting at home. He was 18 again, standing outside a greasy diner in the rain, clutching 67 cents, and wondering if it could buy him shelter for an hour, just enough time to figure out where he'd sleep that night. The girl, no, the young woman, froze. Her shoulders stiffened, braced for cruelty, but she didn't turn right away. "Have you eaten today?" Isaac asked. Slowly, she turned back to face him, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "Coffee this morning. I get paid Friday." The words hit him like a physical blow. He knew that calculation. He had done the math before. How many hours until the paycheck? How many meals he could skip without fainting? How long hunger could be ignored before it won? His phone buzzed. A text from his daughter. "Hannah, Dad, I'm at Sophia's house. Her mom says I can stay for dinner if it's okay." "Please?" Isaac stared at the message, then at the young woman already retreating back into shadow. "My daughter just canceled on me," he heard himself say. His voice was strangely calm. "Would you like to have dinner? There's a picnic table under that awning." Her lips parted in shock. "I couldn't." "Please." He remembered Robert's voice, gruff, steady, kind. "Sometimes accepting help is the bravest thing you can do, kid." "I hate eating alone," Isaac said, softening his tone. They looked at each other across the dark parking lot. Two strangers, one clutching warm food, the other clutching her pride. "Okay," she whispered. They sat together at the damp picnic table. Isaac spread napkins across the wet with like a makeshift tablecloth. She sat carefully, her movements small, as though she were afraid of taking up too much space. When he opened the containers, steam curled between them. Her eyes fluttered closed for just a second, as if the smell alone was overwhelming. "Please," Isaac urged, sliding container toward her. "Eat." She picked up the flimsy plastic fork, like it was made of silver. Her first bite was slow, reverent, memorized. "Thank you," she whispered. I haven't had anything this good in months." "Yeppy's is the best," Isaac said, trying to keep the moment light, though his throat tightened. "Tuesday's their family special night." "Family special," she echoed softly. The words waited. Isaac studied her in the pale glow of the lot lights. She was maybe 23 or 24, blonde hair neat despite everything, dignity clinging to her like armor. "I'm Isaac," he offered. "Amber." She managed a small smile before taking another careful bite. They talked as they ate. Amber told him she'd been working part-time at Morrison's for 2 months, praying for full-time hours. "It's on the wait list," she said with quiet hope, as though full-time meant rescue. She admitted she had moved to Charlotte 8 months ago from a small town, searching for a fresh start. When he asked where she was staying, her fork stilled. For a long moment, she said nothing. Finally, so quietly you almost didn't hear, "My car, for 2 weeks now." Isaac set down his fork, appetite gone. "What happened?" he asked gently. Her story spilled out in fragments. A roommate disappearing without warning. Rent unpaid. 3 days' notice. She laughed bitterly. 3 days vanish fast when you were desperate for a miracle. Family, Isaac asked. Foster care since I was 10. Aged out 5 years ago. The word struck him like lightning. Foster care. Aged out. That brutal vocabulary of a system that spit kids out at 18 with a garbage bag of belongings and a hollow good luck. I aged out too, Isaac said quietly. Amber's head snapped up, eyes wide. You did. 18 years old. Everything I own in a trash bag. Sleeping in my car until the transmission died. I used to sit outside restaurants like this, wondering if I could stretch $5 long enough to stay alive. Her expression softened, hunger replaced by recognition. How did you? An older man named Robert, Isaac said. His throat tightened at the memory. He saw me, offered me work, a room above his garage. Saved my life. Made me promise to pass it on. Amber was silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Isaac pulled out his phone, showing her a photo of a 12-year-old girl with braces. This is Hannah, my daughter. Her mom passed 4 years ago. It's been hard. I don't always know how to give her what she needs. She's growing up so fast. Needs female guidance, things I can't always provide. Amber studied the photo, then looked back at him, uncertain. I have a spare room, Isaac said. It was my office, but it has its own bathroom. I can't pay much, but I need help. Being here when Hannah gets home from school, helping with homework, maybe starting dinner if I'm running late. In exchange, you'd have room and board, time to save money, time to breathe. Her hands trembled. You don't even know me. I know you're working every shift you can at minimum wage. I know you're still showing up even though you're living in your car. I know you ask for help with dignity intact. And I know what it feels like to have no one, but still keep going. Her eyes glistened. What if your daughter doesn't like me? We'll figure it out. But Amber, you can't keep sleeping in your car. It's not safe. The nights are still cold. Why? Her voice cracked. Why would you do this? Isaac thought of Robert. Of the first night, he cried himself to sleep in a room someone had offered without asking for anything in return. Because someone did it for me, Isaac said, and because maybe we showed up in each other's lives at exactly the right moment. Amber broke, tears spilling as she wiped her face with napkins too rough for comfort. Say you'll think about it, Isaac urged. He handed her a worn business card. Call me tomorrow, and whether you take the room or not, I'll fix your car. I do maintenance work. No one should have to choose between gas and food. Amber met his gaze. For the first time, she didn't look like she wanted to run. The following day, Isaac wasn't sure she would call. He told himself not to expect it. Maybe she'd vanish. Just another face carried away by the city's endless tide of need. But when his phone buzzed at lunchtime, the name Amber lit up his screen. Hi, she said softly. Is the offer still open? It is. His voice came out steadier than he felt. Meet me at Yeppy's tonight. We'll go from there. That evening, she arrived with a single duffel bag slung across her shoulder. It was smaller than Hannah's backpack, and Isaac felt his chest tighten. How could a life be reduced to so little? The drive to his house was quiet. Amber sat folded into herself, glancing out the window as though she might disappear at any moment. When they pulled into the driveway, Hannah was already there, basketball in hand. Dad, she called, then stopped when she noticed Amber climbing out of the truck. Who's this? Isaac crouched so he was eye level with his daughter. This is Amber. She's going to be staying with us for a while. She'll help out around the house, and in exchange she'll have a safe place to live. Hannah studied Amber, suspicion narrowing her 12-year-old eyes. Like a babysitter? Not exactly, Isaac said. More like a friend. Amber knelt slightly, offering her hand. Hi, Hannah. Your dad's been bragging about your jump shot. That broke the tension. Hannah smirked, rolling her eyes. He always exaggerates. It wasn't instant trust, but it was a beginning. The spare room transformed quickly. Isaac carried in an old dresser from the garage. Hannah donated a string of fairy lights she'd outgrown, and Amber carefully folded her few belongings into drawers that suddenly looked too big. The first night, Isaac found her standing by the window, arms wrapped around herself. "Feels strange, doesn't it?" he asked. Amber nodded. "Like it isn't real. Like I'll wake up and it'll all be gone." "I used to feel the same way," Isaac admitted. "The first time I had a bed that wasn't borrowed. Give it time." Days turned into weeks, and the rhythm of their lives shifted. Amber rose early to make breakfast, humming softly in the kitchen as Hannah stumbled in half awake. After school, she quizzed Hannah on vocabulary words, braided her hair before basketball practice, and taught her how to cook simple meals. Hannah resisted at first, arms crossed, rolling her eyes at Amber's gentle advice. But slowly, the walls came down. One afternoon, Isaac came home to laughter ringing through the house. Hannah and Amber were in the kitchen, flour dusting their faces, cookies burning in the oven but spirits soaring. "Dad, she's worse at baking than me," Hannah exclaimed. Amber threw a spoonful of flour in protest, and for the first time in years, Isaac's house felt like home again. One evening after Hannah had gone to bed, Isaac found Amber sitting at the dining table, paperwork spread before her. "What's all this?" he asked. "Community college applications." She bit her lip. "I never finished. I thought maybe I could try again." Isaac sat across from her. "You should. You're smart, Amber. You have more grit than most people I know." Her eyes softened. "No one's ever said that to me before." He wanted to reach across the table, to take her hand, but he didn't. Not yet. But feelings have a way of revealing themselves. It was a rainy Saturday when Isaac realized it. They were painting Hannah's room a fresh shade of teal, laughter filling the air as music played in the background. At some point, Amber wiped a streak of paint across his cheek, and without thinking, he reached for her wrist. Their eyes locked. Time slowed. Isaac cleared his throat and stepped back. "You're going to regret that when I get even." Amber laughed, but her cheeks flushed pink. Later that night, lying in bed, Isaac admitted what he already knew. He was falling for her. Not everyone understood. His co-worker Mark pulled him aside one day. "You barely know this girl," Mark said. "She's what, 24? You're 38. She's living in your house, raising your kid. People are going to talk." Isaac met his gaze firmly. Let them, because what Mark didn't understand was that this wasn't charity. It wasn't pity. It was family being built from broken pieces. Amber blossomed under stability. She picked up more shifts, saved money, and within months, enrolled in night classes. Hannah bragged at school that she had the coolest roommate, though she always left out how much Amber now felt like a big sister. And Isaac, he healed too. He found himself smiling more, laughing more, breathing easier in a house no longer heavy with silence. One spring evening, as they sat on the porch watching Hannah shoot hoops in the driveway, Amber turned to him. "You changed everything for me," she said quietly. Isaac shook his head. "You did that yourself. I just offered a spare room." "No," Amber insisted. "You saw me. That's what saved me." The words undid him. Slowly, carefully, he reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. "I think Robert would be proud," Amber whispered. Isaac swallowed hard. "Me too." Months later, Hannah stood at Yeppy's with a chocolate cake balanced between her hands. "Happy birthday, Amber," she shouted, her grin wide. Amber's eyes filled with tears as Isaac lit the candles. For the first time in her life, she wasn't blowing them out alone. She looked across the table at the man who had once been a stranger in a parking lot, the man who had offered her food, then safety, then something she'd never dared hope for, family. Isaac met her gaze, steady and certain, and in that unspoken moment, both of them knew. Sometimes the people you need most aren't the ones you're born to, but the ones who find you in the dark and refuse to let you go.